When you look around, you will observe different animals with different structure and forms. As over million species of animals have been described till now, the need for classification becomes all the more important. The classification also helps in assigning a systematic position to newly described species. 4.1 Basis of classification. In spite of differences in structure and forms of different animals, there are fundamental features common to various individuals in relation to the arrangement of cell, body, symmetry, nature of coelom, pattern of digestive, circulatory or reproductive system. These features are used as the basis of animal classification, and some of them are discussed here. 4.11 Level of organization. Though all members of Animalia are multicellular, all of them do not exhibit the same pattern of organization of cell. For example, in sponges, the cells are arranged as loose cell aggregates, that is, they exhibit cellular level of organization. Some division of labor occur among the cells. In coelentrates, the arrangement of cells is more complex. Here, the cell performing the same function are arranged into tissue, hence is called tissue level of organization. A still higher level of organization, that is organ level, is exhibited by members of platyhelminthes and other higher phyla, where tissues are grouped together to form organs, each specialized for a particular function. In animals like annelids, arthropods, and mollusca, echinoderms and chordates organs have associated to form fundamental system, each system concerned with a specific physiological function. This pattern is called organ system level of organization. Organ system in different group of animals exhibit various patterns of complexities. For example, the digestive system in platyhelminthes has only a single opening to the outside of the body that serve as both mouth and anus, and hence is called incomplete digestion. A complete digestive system has two opening, mouth and anus. Similarly, the circulatory system may be of two types. First, that is open type, in which the blood is pumped out of the heart and the cells and tissue are directly bathed in it. Second one is closed type, in which the blood is circulated through a series of vessels of varying diameter, that is arteries, veins and capillaries. 4.12 Symmetry. Animals can be categorized on the basis of their symmetry. Sponges are mostly asymmetrical, that is, any plane that passes through a center does not divide them into equal halves. When any plane passing through the central axis of the body divides the organism into two identical halves, it is called radial symmetry. Coelentrates, ctenophore, echinoderms have this kind of body plan, that is given in figure 4.1a. Animals like annelids, arthropods, etc., where the body can be divided into identical left-right halves in only one plane. Exhibit bilateral symmetry, that is given in figure 4.1b. 4.13 Diploblastic and triploblastic organization. Animals in which the cells are arranged into two embryonic layers, an external ectoderm and internal endoderm, are called diploblastic animal, that is coelenterates. An undifferentiated layer, mesoglea, is present in between the ectoderm and the endoderm, that is given in figure 4.2a. Those animals in which the developing embryo has a third germinal layer, that is mesoderm, in between the ectoderm and endoderm, are called triploblastic animal, that is present in platyhelminthes to chordates. 4.14 Coelom. Presence or absence of a cavity between the body wall and the gut wall is very important in classification. The body cavity which is lined by mesoderm is called coelom. Animal possessing coelom are called coelomates, that is present. That example is annelids, mollusca, arthropods, echinoderms, hemichordates and chordates, that is given in figure 4.3a. In some animals, the body cavity is not lined by mesoderm. Instead, the mesoderm is present as scattered pouches in between the ectoderm and endoderm. Such a body cavity is called pseudocoelom, and the animal possessing them are called pseudocoelomate. Example is Escalamanthus, that is given in figure 4.3b. The animals in which the body cavity is absent are called acoelomates. Example is Platyhelminthes, that is given in figure 4.3c. 4.15 Segmentation. In some animals, the body cavity is externally and internally divided into segments with a serial repetition of at least some organ. For example, in earthworm, the body shows this pattern called metacentric segmentation, and the phenomena is known as metamerism. 4.16 Notochord. Notochord is a mesodermally derived rod-like structure formed on the dorsal side during embryonic development in some animals. Animals with notochord are called chordates, and those animals which do not form this structure are called non-chordates. Example, porifera to echinoderms. 4.2 Classification of animal. The broad classification of animal based on common fundamental features as mentioned in the preceding section is given in figure 4.4. Echinoderms exhibit radial or bilateral symmetry depending on the stage. Figure 4.4 Broad classification of kingdom Animalia based on common fundamental feature. The important characteristics feature of the different phyla are described. 4.21 Phylum Porifera. Members of this phylum are commonly known as sponges. They are generally marine and mostly asymmetrical animals. Figure 4.5, that is given in figure 4.5. These are primitive multicellular animals and have cellular level of organization. Sponges have a water transport or canal system. Water enters through minute pores, that is ostia, in the body wall into central cavity spongocoel, from where it goes out through the osculum. This pathway of water transport is helpful in food gathering, respiratory exchange, and removal of waste. Canocytes or collar cell line the spongocoel and the canals. Digestion is intracellular. The body is supported by a skeleton made up of spicules or spongin fibers. Sexes are not separate. Hermaphrodite, that is, eggs and sperms, are produced by the same individual. Sponges reproduce asexually by fragmentation and sexually by formation of gametes. Fertilization is internal and development is indirect, having a larval stage which is morphologically distinct from the adult. Figure 4.5 Examples of porifera, that is Cycon, Euspongia and Spongilla. 4.22 Phylum Coelenterata, that is also called as Cnidaria. They are aquatic, mostly marine, sessile or free swimming, radially symmetrical animals, that is given in figure 4.6. The name Cnidaria is derived from the Cnidoblast and cnidocytes, which contain the stinging capsules or nematocytes present on the tentacles and the body. Cnidoblasts are used for encourage defense and for the capture of prey, that is given in figure 4.7. Cnidarians exhibit tissue level of organization and are diploblastic. They have a central gastrovascular cavity with a single opening. Mouth on hypostrome. Digestion is extracellular and intracellular. Some of the cnidarian example, that is corals, have a skeleton composed of calcium carbonate. Cnidarian exhibit the two basic body forms called polyp and medusa, that is given in figure 4.6. The former is a sessile and cylindrical form like hydra, adamsia, etc., whereas the latter is umbrella shaped and free swimming like Aurelia or jellyfish. Those cnidarian which exist in both forms exhibit alternation of generation, that is metagenesis, that is polyps produce medusa asexually and medusa form the polyps sexually. Example is Ovelia. Example of tenophore. Example of Coelenterata, Physalia, Adamsia, Penutula, Gorgonia and Mandrina. 4.23 Phylum Ctenophora. Ctenophores, commonly known as sea walnuts or comb jellies, are exclusively marine, radially symmetrical, diploblastic organism with tissue level of organization. The body bears 8 external rows of ciliated complex which help in locomotion. Figure 4.8. Digestion is both extracellular and intracellular. Bioluminescence, the property of a living organism to emit light, is well marked in ctenophores. Sexes are not separate. Reproduction takes place only by sexual means. Fertilization is external with indirect development. Example is Pleurobrachia and Ctenophora. 4.24 Phylum Platyhelminthes. They have dorsoventrally flattened body, hence are called flatworm. These are mostly endoparasites found in animals including human beings. Flatworms are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and acoelomate animals with organ level of organization. Hooks and suckers are present in the parasitic forms. Some of them absorb nutrition from the host directly through their body surface. Specialized cells called flame cell help in osmoregulation and excretion. Sexes are not separate. Fertilization is internal and development is through many larval stages. Some members like planaria possess high regeneration capacity. Example Taenia and Fasciola. 4.25 Phylum Escalamenthes. The body of the Escalamenthes is circular in cross section, hence the name cross section, hence the name roundworms, that is given in figure 4.10. They may be free living, aquatic and terrestrial, or parasitic in plants and animals. Roundworm have organ system level of body organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and pseudocoelomate animals. Alimentary canal is complete with well developed muscular pharynx and excretory tubes remove body wastage from the body cavity through the excretory pore. Sexes are separate, that is dioecious, that is males and females are distinct. Often females are longer than males. Fertilization is internal and development may be direct. The young ones resemble the adult, or indirect. Example Ascaris, Wucheria and Cyclostoma. 4.26 Phylum Annelida. They may be aquatic, marine and freshwater, or terrestrial, free living, and sometimes parasitic. They exhibit organ system level of body organization and bilateral symmetry. They are triploblastic, metamerically segmented, and coelomate animals. Their body surface is distinctly marked out into segments or metamers, and hence the phylum name Annelida, Latin annulus, Latin, that means little ring, that is given in figure 4.11. They possess longitudinal and circular muscles which help in locomotion. Aquatic annelids like nares possess lateral appendages, parapodia, which help in swimming. A closed circulatory system is present. Nephridia, that singular is nephridium, help in osmoregulation and excretion. Neural system consists of paired ganglia connected by lateral nerves to a double ventral nerve cord. Nares, an aquatic form, is dioecious, but earthworm and leeches are monoecious. Reproduction is sexual. Example: Nares ferretema and Hirudinoria. 4.27 Phylum Arthropoda. This is the largest phylum of Animalia, which include insects. Over two-thirds of all limb species on Earth are arthropods, and that is given in figure 4.12. They have organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic, segmented, and coelomate animal. The body of arthropods is covered by chitinous exoskeleton. The body consists of head, thorax, and abdomen. They have jointed appendages. Respiratory organs are gills, book lungs, or tracheal system. Circulatory system is of often type. Sensory organs like antenna, eyes, statocyst, or balancing organs are present. Excretion takes place through Malpighian tubules. They are mostly dioecious. Fertilization is usually internal. They are mostly oviparous. Development may be direct or indirect. Example: economically important insect: Apis, Bombyx, Lucifer. Vector: Anopheles, Culex, Aedes. Gregarious pest: Locusta. Living fossils: Lemurs. 4.28 Phylum Mollusca. This is the second largest animal phylum. Mollusca are terrestrial or aquatic, marine or freshwater, having an organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and coelomate animals. Body is covered by calcareous cell and is unsegmented with a distinct head, muscular foot, and visceral humps. A soft and spongy layer of skin forms a mantle over the visceral hump. The space between the hump and the mantle is called the mantle cavity, in which feather-like gills are present. They have respiratory and excretory function. The anterior head region has sensory tentacles. The mouth contains a file-like rasping organ for feeding called radula. Example of mollusca: Pila and octopus. They are usually dioecious and oviparous with indirect development. Example: Pila, Pinctella, Sapia, Loligo, Octopus, Aplysia, Dentellum, and Cutoflora. 4.29 Phylum Echinodermata. These animals have an endoskeleton of calcareous ossicles, and hence the name Echinodermata, that is given in figure 4.14. All the marine with organ system level of organization. The adult echinoderms are radially symmetrical, but Larvae are bilaterally symmetrical. They are triploblastic and coelomate animals. Digestive system is complete with mouth on the lower ventral side and anus on the upper dorsal side. The most distinctive feature of echinoderms is the presence of water vascular system, which help in locomotion, capture and transport of food and respiration. An excretory system is absent. Sexes are separate. Reproduction is sexual. Fertilization is usually external. Development is indirect with free swimming larvae. Example: Asteris echinus, Antedon, Cucumoria, and Ophura. 4.210 4.210 Phylum Hemichordata. Hemichordata was earlier considered as subphylum under phylum Chordata, but now it is placed as a separate phylum under non-Chordata. Hemichordata have a rudimentary structure in the collar region called stomochord, a structure similar to notochord. This phylum consists of a small group of worm-like marine animals with organ system level of organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic and coelomate animals. The body is cylindrical and is composed of an anterior proboscis, a collar, and a long trunk. Circulatory system is of open type. Respiration takes place through gills. Excretory organs in proboscis gland. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is external. Development is indirect. Example: Balanoglossus and Saccoglossus. 4.211 Phylum Chordata. Animals belonging to phylum Chordata are fundamentally characterized by the presence of a notochord, a dorsal hollow nerve cord, and a paired pharyngeal gill slits. These are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic coelomates with organ system level of organization. They possess a post-anal tail and a closed circulatory system. Table 4.1 present a comparison of salient feature of chordates and non-chordates. Figure 4.6 Chordata characteristics. Table 4.1 Comparison of chordates and non-chordates. Characters of chordates. Notochord present. Central nervous system is dorsal, hollow and single. Pharynx perforated by gill slits. Heart is ventral. A post-anal part tail is present. Characters of non-chordates. Notochord absent. Central nervous system is ventral, solid and double. Gill slits are absent. Heart is dorsal if present. Post-anal tail is absent. Phylum Chordata is divided into three subphyla: Urochordata, Tunicata, Cephalochordata, and Vertebrata. Subphyla Urochordata and Cephalochordata are often referred to as protochordates. That is given in figure 4.17 and are exclusively marine. In Urochordata, notochord is present only in larval tail, while in Cephalochordata it extends from head to tail region and is persistent throughout their life. Example: Urochordata, Ascidia, Salpa, Doliolum. Cephalochordata, Branchiostoma, that is Amphioxus or lancelet. The member of subphylum Vertebrata possess notochord during the embryonic period. The notochord is replaced by a cartilaginous or bony vertebral column in the adult. Thus, all vertebrates are chordates, but all chordates are not vertebrates. Besides the basic chordate character, vertebrates have a ventral muscular heart with 2, 3 or 4 chambers, kidney for excretion and osmoregulation, and paired appendages which may be fins or limbs. The subphylum Vertebrata is further divided as follows. Vertebrata divided into two parts: Agnatha and Gnathostomata. Yes, yeah, I'm right. Agnatha like jaws, and it is subdivided into class, that is Cyclostomata, and Gnathostomata bear jaw, and it's divided into superclasses, that is species that bear fins and tetrapoda that bears limbs. Pieces divided into into subclasses into classes, that is chondrichthyes and osteichthyes, and tetrapoda divided into four classes, that is amphibia, reptilia, apes and mammals. 4.2 11.1 Class Cyclostomata. Yes, I'm right. All living members of the class Cyclostomata are ectoparasites on some species. They have an elongated body bearing 6 to 15 pairs of gill slits for respiration. Cyclostomes have a sucking and circular mouth without jaw. Their bodies divide of scales and paired fins. Cranium and vertebral columns are cartilaginous. Circulation is of closed type. Cyclostomes are marine but migrate for spawning to freshwater. After spawning within a few days, they die. Their larvae, after metamorphosis, return to the ocean. Example: Petromyzon and Myxine. 4.2 11.2 Class Chondrichthyes. They are marine with streamlined body and have a cartilaginous endoskeleton, that is given in figure 4.19. Mouth is located ventrally. Notochord is persistent throughout life. Gill slits are separate and without operculum. The skin is tough, containing minute placoid scales. Teeth are modified placoid scales which are backwardly directed. Their jaws are very powerful. These animals are predaceous. Due to the absence of air bladder, they have to swim constantly to avoid sinking. Heart is two-chambered, one auricle and one ventricle. Some of them have an electric organ. That example is torpedo, and some possess poison string. Example trigon. They are cold-blooded. That we can also call that poikilothermus. Poikilothermus, yes. Animals, that is, they lack the capacity to regulate their body temperature. Sexes are separate. In males, pelvic fins bear claspers. They have an internal fertilization and many of them are viviparous. Example: Scalodon, Prestis, Cankerodon, Trigon. 4.2 11.3 Class Osteichthyes. In it include both marine and freshwater species with bony endoskeleton. Their body is streamlined, mouth is mostly terminal. They have 4 pairs of gills which are covered by an operculum on each side. Skin is covered with cycloid or ctenoid scales. Air bladder is present which regulate buoyancy. Heart is two-chambered, one auricle and one ventricle. They are cold-blooded animals. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is usually external. They are mostly oviparous and development is direct. Example: marine exosketus and hippocampus. Freshwater Labiocatla, Clarius, aquarium, beta and pterophyllum. 4.2 11.4 Class Amphibia. As the name indicates, amphibians can live in aquatic as well as terrestrial habitat. Most of them have a two pairs of limbs. Body is divisible into head and trunk. Tail may be present in some. The amphibian skin is moist. The eyes have eyelids. A tympanum represents the ear. Alimentary canal, urinary and reproductive tract open into a common chamber called cloaca, which opens to the exterior. Respiration is by gills, lungs and through skin. The heart is three-chambered, 2 auricle and 1 ventricle. There are cold-blooded animals. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and development is indirect. Example: Bufo, Rana, Hyla, Salamandra, Echithopus. 4.2 11.5 Class Reptilia. The class name refer to their creeping or crawling mode of locomotion. They are mostly terrestrial animals, and their body is covered by dry and confined skin, epidermal scales or scutes. They do not have external ear opening. Tympanum represent ear. Limbs when present are two pairs. Heart is usually three-chambered but four-chambered in crocodile. Reptiles are polychilothermous. Snakes and lizards shed their scales as skin cast. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and development is direct. Example: Keolon, Testudo, Camelon, Calotes, Crocodilus, Alligator, Hemidactylus, poisonous snakes, that is Naza, and Bangarus vipera. 4.2 11.6 Class Aves. The characteristics of aves, that is birds, are the presence of feathers, and most of them can fly except flightless birds. The example: ostrich. They possess beak. The forelimbs are modified into wings. The hind limbs generally have scales and are modified for walking, swimming, or clasping the tree branches. Skin is dry without glands except the oil gland and the base of the tail. Endoskeleton is fully ossified, that is bony, and the long bones are hollow with air cavity. The digestive tract of birds has additional chamber. The crop and gizzard. Heart is completely four-chambered. They are warm-blooded. That is called warm-blooded is also called as homeothermous animals. That is, they are able to maintain a constant body temperature. Respiration is by lungs. Air sacs connected to lungs supplement respiration. Sexes are separate. Fertilization is internal. They are oviparous and development is direct. Example: Corvus, Columba, Cytocula, Struthio, Pavo, Aptenodytes, and Neophron. 4.2 11.7 Class Mammalia. They are found in a variety of habitats: polar ice cap, desert, mountains, forest, grassland, and dark caves. Some of them have adapted to fly or live in water. The most unique mammalian characteristic is the presence of milk producing gland, that is mammary gland, by which the young ones are nourished. They have two pair of limbs adapted for walking, running, climbing, burrowing, swimming, or flying, that is given in figure 4.24. The skin of mammals is unique, is possessing hair, external ears or pinna are present. Different types of teeth are present in the jaw. Heart is four-chambered. They are homeothermous. Respiration is by lungs. Sexes are separate and fertilization is internal. They are viviparous with few exceptions and development is direct. Example: oviparous, Ornithorhynchus; viviparous, Macropus, Pteropus, Camulus, Macaca, Rattus, Canis, Felis, Elephas, Equus, Delphinus, Balanoptera, Panthera tigris, and Panthera leo. The silent distinguishing feature of all phyla under animal kingdom is comprehensively given in the table 4.2. Table 4.2 Silent feature of different phyla in the animal kingdom. Summary: the basic fundamental features such as level of organization, symmetry, cell organization, coelom, segmentation, notochord, etc. have enabled us to broadly classify the animal kingdom. Beside the fundamental features, there are many other distinctive characteristics which are specific for each phyla or class. Porifera include multicellular animals which exhibit cellular level of organization and have characteristics flagellated canocytes. The coelenterates have tentacles and bear nidoblast. They are mostly aquatic, sessile or free-floating. The ctenophores are marine animals with complates. The platyhelminthes have a flat body and exhibit bilateral symmetry. The parasitic forms show distinct suckers and hooks, escalamenthes and pseudocoelomates, and include parasitic as well as non-parasitic roundworms. Annelids are metamerically segmented animals with true coelom. The arthropods are the most abundant group of animals characterized by the presence of jointed appendages. The mollusca have a soft body surrounded by an external calcareous cells. The body is covered with external skeleton made of chitin. The echinoderms possess a spiny skin. Their most distinctive feature is the presence of water vascular system. The hemichordates are a small group of worm-like marine animals. They have a cylindrical body with proboscis, collar and trunk. Phylum Chordata include animals which possess a notochord either throughout or during embryonic life. Other common features observed in the chordates are the dorsal, hollow nerve cord, paired pharyngeal gill slits. Some of the vertebrates do not possess jaw, whereas most of them possess jaw. Agnatha is represented by class Cyclostomata. Stomata. They are the most primitive chordates and are ectoparasites on fish. Agnatostomata has two superclasses, Pisces and Tetrapoda. Classes Chondrichthyes and Osteichthyes bear fins for locomotion and are grouped under Pisces. The Chondrichthyes are fishes with cartilaginous endoskeleton and are marine. Classes Amphibia, reptiles, apes and mammalia have two pair of limbs, are thus grouped under Tetrapoda. The amphibia have adapted to live both on land and water. Reptiles are characterized by the presence of dry and cornified skins. Limbs are present in snakes. Fishes, amphibia and reptiles are polychilothermous, that is cold-blooded. Apes are warm-blooded animal with feature on their bodies and forelimbs modified into wings for flying. Hind limbs are adapted for walking, swimming, perching and collapsing. The unique feature of mammals are the presence of mammary gland and hairs on the skin. They commonly exhibit viviparity. Thank you friends for listening this audio. And please post your comment if you want any kind of improvement. So मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में, तब तक के लिए बाय और stay tuned with biology critic and enjoy the knowledge. Okay, bye.